That's a real thing. All right. So everyone, I'm truly delighted to see everyone here after a week. And we have a huge group here, which means that we're going strong. And so thank you so much. Thank you for doing this for yourself and getting better and participating. And I see a lot of things going on in the group, which is amazing, which because means people are doing things. Not everyone is in the group for various reasons, but this is why we also have this call. And you know that if you are not in the group, you know how to reach me. So those meetings, they are really important because for me, it means that I can see you face to face and I can hear what you're thinking rather than just, you know, seeing comments and posts in the group. So I would really love to go and like really quick to go over with as many people as possible to hear how they are doing. We just heard Debbie, which was really great, like off the bat, like I'm excited and like things are working. So that's amazing. I've seen your data. Everyone who sent their data except one person lost weight, which was the main goal of all this thing. However, I also want to say that my goal is not just you losing weight. My goal is you getting healthier, getting better habits, understanding nutrition for yourselves, where you know what's right for you, what's working for you, what's maybe not so good and efficient for you, right? And like we can see that some people trying different things and they're learning, and you know, me or Dr. Adria saying, hey, like you probably should not be eating that because that wasn't the idea. So let's go, and I will kind of call you out, so don't kill me for that, and because I really want to know who's what. So first of all, I would let you know, like if you want to talk, just you know, like raise your hand, and I would love to hear what you're saying, just like Debbie did. So who wants to go first? Harriet? Did you wave your hand?
Okay. Well, I did wave my hand, yes. Can you see me?
Yes. Maybe slightly slow, but we can hear. Yep.
I too am thrilled and excited. This came at a really rough time for me, both mentally and physically. So this was just like a miracle. And I had a couple of days because I was traveling and doing a few things, so I wasn't able to track correctly. But now all of that is going smoothly. I've made up a shake with a few different ingredients that I'm doing every morning, and it gives me a third of all my macros for my first meal, which is wonderful. So I'm able to get all my other things in. So I'm just really, really happy with that. And like I said, I'm in Florida with 2 other people, and I'm really not missing out on anything as far as food wise. And I've been taking off weight, and I'm just thrilled to death to be back here. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's really great to hear. All right. Who else wants to say how it's going for them? Okay, so I will call you out. So like Joanne, how that's going for you?
So soon. I had a headache last week. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Headache last week, that seemed to improve. I've been tracking okay. I think some of it's unrealistic because when you cook for a family, it's quite challenging. So cooking multiple meals for multiple people is, in somebody who's working and has things to do, I think that's a challenge, but it's going fine so far.
Okay, so here's I'm not asking you guys just to hear. I also want to get some input, and I do want to address things. So you said it's unrealistic, and then you said it's challenging. So if it's challenging, then it is realistic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is great because it's really important that you don't have limiting beliefs that tell you, oh, like I cannot do something. because when
No, you can
need
do
to,
it. It's just that when I calculate the number of hours in a day, it's like, okay, you're supposed to meditate for a period of time. You're supposed to exercise for a period of time. You're supposed to prepare meals, go to work for 10 hours, commute. The numbers, the math doesn't work for me. So it's, it's like I have to figure that out.
you will absolutely do that. You will succeed if you want. And I think this is a new process for most of you. And by the way, right, Harriet and Debbie, they know it. They did it. So for them, it's not that hard. But for everyone who started this at one point in time, it was a little challenging. Just because you're doing something that you're not used to do, right? This is new to you. And now you have an app and maybe you have Facebook and then you need to plug in numbers. But guess what? The more you do it, the more automatic it becomes. And then at some point, you just know, I eat this. You don't plug the numbers anymore. You just know, I'm eating those things in this amount, and this is my food, and I'm used to do that. So just like when we make food for our kids, we eat our things, our kids eat differently. Both girls eat different things, and me and my wife, we eat different things. So it's not like we're cooking a dinner and everyone eats the same things. Never. Right? And it's been like this for 7 years, and it's not a challenge unless you make it a challenge. Okay.
I have a 20-year-old, so he pretty much was eating what we were eating. So, I mean, he's very, very skinny, so he really could use the starches. So, yeah, and like he could use a little extra stuff in his meal. Yeah.
Maybe not, because starch is not necessarily a good thing, right? But again, I'm not challenging that. I'm challenging that everyone can adapt. And everyone can do what's necessary. And, like this is something that if that improves your health and your weight on your whatever, your sleeping and energy, maybe that's worth that. And we always have time in a day where we do something that is maybe not very useful, right? Maybe we're on the phone, maybe someone is on Facebook or on Instagram or, messaging or watching TV or whatnot. And we just don't allocate the time correctly sometimes. I'm not saying that's the case, but you can. Here, you're combining us together and cooking, right? Like, so you have time.
Yes, I am. 6 to 7 is my cooking time.
Perfect. But I know people who would say, no, I'm cooking, so I cannot join. Right? So you thought that
I don't want to. Dr. Adria says we need to finish eating 3 hours before we go to sleep. So I'm trying to manage that too.
Well, that's very helpful. Yes, I can make it harder, but I'm not going to. Thank you so much. Great feedback. Thank you, Colleen. David, how was it going for you this week?
It's weird. I have very little appetite. I have trouble consuming all my calories, period. I'm about 600 short per day. I'm proteined out, to be honest with you.
Did you expect you're going to be hungry?
I'm not hungry. That's the thing.
But did you expect to be hungry?
Yeah, I did actually. I mean, but it's going okay. I have trouble getting the fats to where they need to be, and I look for little tricks to get there. But all in all, I guess it's going all right. I dropped a ton of weight.
Yes, you did. How much did you drop?
So, but
I saw about 11, 12 pounds.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Wow.
It'll be interesting this week because I'm actually going to start my running and biking again. But yeah, I know I dropped like an inch on my neck, an inch on my waist. It just like that. It's just gone. So it was surprising.
Think about this, right? This is a gallon, right?
Is that beer?
No, that's water with salt. This is water with this thing, right?
Yeah.
Element. But you dropped more than this.
Yeah.
And it's heavy. So, and now you don't need to carry that and put that pressure on your leg and feet and whatnot. So congratulations. This is really good. And as for not being hungry, I think that's a positive thing. Most people, when they even think about losing weight, they're afraid of being hungry. And for many people, that's maybe the only limiting things are like, I'm going to be hungry. I cannot endure that. I'm not going to even try. But when you're eating correctly, even if you undereat, you're not going to be hungry for a long, long, long time, maybe years, while losing weight. Okay. And that's one of the main things where we make sure that you guys eat protein and you don't eat what causes you to be hungry. All right.
Yeah. I mean, to make up I'll give you an example. On Sunday night, to make up my protein, I had 14 pieces of sashimi and a cucumber roll with raw seafood in it. So, I mean, I just protein loaded and I just barely hit the numbers. So, I mean, it's tough for me to get the protein in.
And yet, before that, there would not be no problem to eat 3,000 calories like this.
Yeah, but I was also running quite heavily, but not as much recently. Yeah.
That's probably even more, right? So if you're running, you could, ingest even more, and here you are. So congratulations, this is really good. So really happy to hear. Beth, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'd say I'm a work in progress.
Who is not?
Still trying to figure out the logging of things, but I'm getting it. I'm working on it and trying to simplify a little bit more, and juggling cooking for other people and different different meals, and trying to streamline that as well.
Of course. I love that you're saying you're a work in progress. I think that if someone tells me I've mastered everything, I'm good with everything, like I'm not a work in progress, they failed. Right? Because this thing will never end. You can take it many ways. You will always learn something. And like, we're just doing this for a week. Yeah. And this work is forever and progress is forever if you let it. Yeah. Right. And it only would mean like you're not giving up, you learning new things, you're doing new things, you're improving. And like, frankly, I don't think anyone at any age, if condition allows them, is, eligible to stop learning or doing something. No, I agree. So like, this is great. And like, I'm work in progress. Everyone is work in progress. And I'm happy. How are you feeling this week? Really good. I have a ton of energy. I'm energetic anyway, but I have a lot of energy. Beyond, like, I stay up a lot later now. I get so much more done during the day. And I am not really, at the very beginning, I felt kind of strange. Like, I felt like a little lightheaded. I had a little headache, but it passed after like 2 days. And then I've just felt like more like even, like just sort of, balanced. Yeah. Yeah. So it's been great. It's been really great. I'm very happy to hear. This is amazing. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Dolores, how it's going for you? If you can hear us.
Okay. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
How? I'd have to say, just like Beth, I'm definitely a work in progress. When I had submitted to you my numbers, I mean, obviously I didn't do well at all. I'm like all over the place. Some days I was able to, some days I wasn't. But like today, I like I said to you earlier in my my comment, I went shopping. I have what I need on hand, which is a big thing for me, is to be, I'm sure for everyone, to be prepared ahead of time. So
that's a big part of it. Yes. And
like today I was a little discouraged today because I just wanted to make myself a salad, and it took me like 45 minutes to make the salad, only because I was making my own salad dressing and, just trying to, so, I'm going to plan ahead and make a couple of salad dressings ahead of time, this way I have it and it's not taking me 45 minutes to make a salad.
Here you go. And I think this is very positive, because now you actually know for sure what's in your dressing. You will be able to make more and more of it and faster next time, and you will have it ready, right? So it will not take as much time. And also maybe you, and I'm just guessing, we're dealing with chronometer and putting ingredients in. Once you do it once, you have it. So you don't need to
exactly.
deal with it.
Yes.
So most of those things, it's like just, if anyone is working in any company and they have some kind of process, they can either go through the process every time manually, or they can automate it. They can create templates, they can create spreadsheets, they can create, calculations and different things that will just do the things for them and be ready for them, or they can do it in a not a smart way and just redo the thing every single time, right? And same is here. You create a recipe, you put things in, you create checklist, and then by repeating the process, you will just remember what's in it, right?
Right.
So I can literally go to a fridge and just open and precisely get out everything that is in my chronometer supposed to be without ever opening it. And only when I want to make changes to my numbers, then I'm altering things or trying something new, which I prefer not to, right? Many times, because I like not to waste my time. This is great. Thank you so much. Michael, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I'm happy to say I'm feeling a lot better. This last quarter has been a challenge for me as not to go into it, I broke like 5 ribs the last quarter, had COVID the last 2 weeks. And so
I'm sorry.
Glad to get back on track, going to the gym and doing what I love to do outdoors and indoors. So it's all good. And last week I was glad to, see everybody and learn about what we're in for. And it's a challenge, but I'm a creature of habit. And like, Julian said, the more you do it over and over and over, the easier and easier it gets, whether it be, running, which I love to do, biking, which I love to do, but you gotta work your way up. It's better to be consistent a little every day than you do it one day a week out of 7. So I'm baby steps, do a little each day. And I think everything makes it easier for you in general. So as I mentioned to Julian yesterday, I got my scale. I went out at Costco and all the food. As a matter of fact, as we were speaking, I was trying to.
You are muted. We lost you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if you can read my lips. Long short of it is that I'm big on baby steps. It's better to do one thing a little every day than one day do everything and then you don't do it the rest of the week. So this past weekend was my starting step and moving forward. I have a lot of questions, which, on sidebar, I'll reach out to Julian, but it's basic questions regarding understanding the software some ways and what my personal goals are. And also even using a scale, which I've always done by hand, like a handful of food. So it's just getting more, used to the tools that I have. And that's my goal for this week, and just staying healthy and, one day at a time.
That's great. And I wish you lots of health. And I know that what you're doing currently will improve that, your overall health. And I see people who just stop being, getting little sicknesses and things like that, getting sick and whatever. Me and my wife, we haven't been sick with anything, even cold, since 2016, since I switched the diet. And we, with help of that, help of not having any inflammatory things and supplements, we are doing really, really good. And our kids, who everyone is in the class having a flu, they're going to school and then complaining that, can I stay home? Everyone is sick. I don't want to go. So we making them sick. So that's really good. It's really good to feel good, and you're on the right path. I'm very excited for you.
Thanks for your help.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure for sure. and Dr. Adria plays a huge role in this. So
big time.
Thank you. Karen, can we hear from you? How are you doing?
Me, Karen R.
Oh, Karen S. I just unmuted. I had a little trouble in the beginning with like the macros and the planning because I'm used to, I guess, playing catch up with my day and plotting diary after I eat, I guess from years of Weight Watchers and other things, but that's how you track. And then I wasn't that prepared with food. So I kind of was making do with what I had in the house. But Saturday I went to Trader Joe's, I went to Costco. I found these great little chicken packets. They're cooked chicken cubes already in little packs because I really eat on the go a lot at work. Like today I sat in my car and had lunch, had a chicken pack and an apple. So like it works. My husband wants to know why there's always crumbs in the car, but now this foods don't make crumbs. So it worked out better. So I think I'm kind of better on track this week.
That's perfect. This is great.
I did have a little weight loss last week, so I was very happy and it keeps me motivated. And I'm not really, I guess I wasn't a very big protein eater. So I do find eating more protein, I am full. Like I never really ate breakfast, ate lunch on the fly. So now I'm not a big breakfast eater. So I am doing the shake every morning, but that's keeping me going. So it's what's working right now.
That's great. And I think almost no one prior to this was a big protein eater because like we simply have no awareness how important it is. It's not tasty. It's very filling. It's expensive if we, look at this frankly. And those are the reasons why people, break a bone at 50 or 60, break a hip, and then they die within 6 months in a hospital from pneumonia or something. Right. We just don't eat enough. So we don't have enough support and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it just deteriorates and like we are made from protein essentially. So this is really good. Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, and we have another Karen. So let's hear from you.
Okay. I think I'm doing pretty good. I actually always was a big protein eater. Maybe not as
Here
much.
We have someone.
Maybe not as much. Well, I was diagnosed with hypoglycemia when I was 18 years old. So I spent most of my life eating lots of protein, low carbs, and I did very well up until about 6 years ago when I hit 50 and the big change happened. And all of a sudden the weight just started coming on and coming on and coming on. And I feel like I can't even eat a baked potato or a side of rice or anything else like that without just every time I turn around, it's 5 pounds more and 5 pounds more and 5 pounds more. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? So I've always ate the same. I eat egg whites with vegetables in it every morning for breakfast. I have for years. Always have chicken or pork chop or steak. I'm also anemic, so red meat, try to eat that twice a week. So I've always been a big protein eater. And to me, this is just cutting out the carbs, the bad carbs, the processed food. And I was hoping to lose a little bit more than 2 pounds this week, but
okay,
it's a step in the right direction, even if it is a small step.
I think it's a huge step because I honestly do not expect from people to lose more than a pound a week in general when they are regulated, right? And of course, it also takes time for us to find what's good for us, what's not good for us, and stick to the plan, right? And weight loss will look different for everyone, but everyone is losing weight. And to be honest, person who loses a lot of weight, it's obviously not fat in the beginning, right? It's a lot of water inflammation, which we really want to get rid of. But the amount of energy that we spend is negligible considerably. And as we age, it goes even lower. So we want to be very respectful. So 2 pounds is great. And it will accelerate, it will go slower, and you're in the position where you can lose a lot and comfortably so.
Right. I just feel that I am hungry sometimes during the day. You know, unlike David, I'm like, what do you mean you're not hungry? Like my stomach growling sometimes in the middle of the day. I'm like, I need more food.
Okay, that's fair. The question is if you're eating all your food.
I am.
No, well, no, you're not.
I'm not.
And I just pressed on 3 days randomly and you didn't, right? And it can be just random. Here's one day that you ate everything and that was just one day. So maybe you should look at your chronometer and see if you're filling all your macronutrients, and then we can talk, right? And I can give you an example of what is going to happen if you don't stick to the plan. So for example, and again, I'm not judging or anything like this, but if you eat an apple, which takes almost all your sugar for a day, which we don't allow actually. Like there's no apples, there's no fruits in the program except berries.
Okay.
So that apple that is not supposed to be there, that is basically empty sugar, will make you hungry as hell.
Okay.
One of the reasons. The other reasons, like why we don't want you to have it, is just sugar, which we actually trying to avoid. Like we want to get rid of sugar, and this is 20 grams of sugar like this in one sitting. And it takes away from all the nutrients that you can actually be eating.
Okay.
So the goal of you guys having carbs is not to have sugar, is to have fiber, which apple doesn't have almost at all, right? And to have your nutrients, to have your vitamins, which again, apple has almost nothing.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be thing that you should be removing, and also eat all your macros. So if you're having troubles, please write about this in the group and we will assist you.
Okay. Okay, great. Thanks.
Awesome. My pleasure. Okay, Matt, how are we doing? You were here first somehow.
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Great. How's it going?
It was good. I think it's challenging, especially for someone like me who craves a different cuisine every day for different meals. I mean, that's why I'm on this program now, because I let myself go and I gained so much weight and I need to get back to what I was before. I think in the beginning, weighing everything was extremely challenging. Remembering to take all the vitamins was crazy. But now I feel like an older person with the pill bottle and telling me when to take them, and but now it's easier. You know, it becomes habitual. So, you know, as you do it more and more often, the easier it gets, and it becomes part of your daily lifestyle. I mean, that's the whole point of this, is to make it your lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's a whole lifestyle. So I think one of the challenging things for me now is trying to find different foods that I can be creative with and make it, because I can't eat the same thing every single day. But one thing that I do miss is dessert. So a good dessert that I have is the chocolate paleo drink. Because if I'm craving chocolate, it's kind of sweet, and it basically curbs that urge for something. I threw out a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have.
Great job.
Which helps a lot. I know that Adria put it on the Facebook group. Somebody asked about something about cookies or whatever, and she was like, put it in the garbage. So I was thinking, okay, I guess I should, so I'm not tempted. And then I did that as well. So, but it's definitely getting a lot easier than it was in the beginning, because it was so difficult.
Listen, it's been just a week and you're already saying, like, in the beginning.
Yeah.
So it was just a couple of days ago. So it's
It feels like a long time, you know, because I'm so used to eating all the garbage, you know, like, for example, I love burgers. And if I want a burger now, I eat a turkey burger, you know. So it's
yeah, that's a great option. They have it in Costco and in Whole Foods. There's a company they called Amilu, and they have great chicken burgers and turkey burgers, and like with different additions. Like I have one every day. It's 20 grams of protein, and it's great. Good job. Do you feel any difference in how you feel? Whatever's going on with you?
No, other than I've been eating a ton of cabbage and bok choy. So I've just been having like some stomach aches only because I'm not used to eating so much cabbage. But other than that, I feel the same.
Okay, maybe don't eat that much cabbage, right? Like and by the way,
yeah.
like some fibrous things will make you, sensitive. So
yeah,
maybe not, right? Maybe try other things as well. And you are trying other like different things all the time. So I'm not worried about that. So change it up, see how you feel. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm trying to put like, because I know a lot of people I'm sure people are struggling with what to eat. So as you can see on the Facebook group, I always put on the recipes and what I'm cooking to give people some ideas. And so.
No, this is great. And I think that it's really encouraging because people can also see, oh, you can eat different things that look different and it's like not all the same. And I do encourage everyone to do that. You like post your pictures of your food and whatever you're doing, because that will help others as well. I'm
curious to know like what other people are eating and cooking and to see what people are trying out.
If you want to try something interesting that's low fat, try ostrich.
Ostrich?
It tastes just like beef. It's red. Yeah. It's a red meat, but it's outstanding if you can find it.
I don't know. I live in Florida. I don't know if I can find it here. Maybe iguana. We have plenty of iguanas here.
If you catch one. Good luck with that. Okay. They're good though. You need a lot of them, like of a decent size.
Yeah.
All right. This is great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dima, how are you doing?
Hey, good. As I mentioned, I've done this before, so there is not much new to me. I haven't mastered it, but I have my tricks how to balance my chronometer by the end of the day. I do not plan it. Like I am spontaneous, but as I said, like I've been doing it for or I had a period of almost a year of doing that. So I have my tricks and the foods that I know like how to estimate ahead of time. Right. So it has been going great. I've been on low carb anyway for the last 2 years. So I haven't I was just overeating other stuff. Like I was overeating on healthy stuff, basically. So I don't have any changes that I feel in terms of headaches, lightheadedness, nothing of that sort. I'm probably wasn't low carb already. I haven't lost that much weight also because it's probably I'm not in a position to have huge water drop initially, right? And I remember I was losing before, when I was doing the big drop before.
Yes.
It was consistently 1.5 pounds per week, and that was the ideal pace. I think that's what I got last week, more or less, 1 pound or 1.5 pounds. So if that continues, I will be more than happy to get back on this track of losing 1.5 pounds per week. That is my ideal scenario. And that's also a comment for, I guess, David, not to get discouraged. It was 7 or 8 pounds this week. It's not going to continue likely. It's going to stabilize at lower numbers, but that's fine. That's how it should be. Right? The initial drop usually that people get is when they switch from high carb diet to low carb diet. There is this water drop that happens, but you can't expect that.
That's very true. Thanks. I actually loved what you said. about chronometer, like you have your tricks and you need to track. And this is what ultimately, if you guys do that, this is what will happen, right? We worked with Dima several years ago, and back then there was a learning curve. But now you don't, like, now he doesn't need it because he mastered, and he can know, even, you know, if you do taking a break or whatever, you know what's in your food. You can look at the food and say, hey, this is what's in there. And you can kind of plan it by after the fact. Because if you understand what's in the food, you're not going to overeat, and you will know, like, oh, this piece of chicken is likely this amount of protein and etc. Right? So, and if I need this amount, then you can easily say, I this, and then it will just track and maybe refine it. But don't need to obsess about it. And it will take you relatively short time to get to that point, more or less, where you don't need to stress and like putting everything on the scale and whatever, but you will learn to do this by doing this, obviously, right? Everyone has, this is just a process. So thanks so much.
Yeah,
I want to see continuous pictures of jeans, and that was awesome. Okay, we have Biana next. Hey, Biana.
Hi.
How you doing?
So I'm still trying to understand the macros. So it's kind of new thing for me. And, you know, I'm trying to play with food, but I guess you said don't do that. And it's just weird because usually I just have protein shake in the morning and then everything works out perfectly. As soon as I switch my breakfast to like having eggs or whatever, everything kind of jumps all over the place. And then I'm so lost with all this, like I'm overdoing on protein and then the energy. And I'm like, okay, I did something wrong. So I'm still kind of learning. I don't feel hungry at all. I just feel sometimes I don't even want to eat, but I have to, you know, just to fill up the macros. So I actually made a soup, which I thought was great for like the last meal because it kind of makes it easier and, you know, have your extra meals and everything like that. But overall, I think it's good. Yeah. It's just like a learning curve, like you're saying.
It is. And I'm happy you're doing this. You mentioned eggs, and why do you think that having eggs instead of shake changes things up so much? What's happening?
I don't know, because it's like, it's just like when I have one regular, like one egg and I think it was like 3 tablespoons of whites liquid.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, it seems like everything, the proteins were too high and the energy was higher. And even I think some of the fats were little, even though the eggs were done by, like, I just sprayed the pan with olive oil. That's it.
Okay.
Like I usually do.
And okay. And I asked on purpose because there is the reason for that, right? Like, so actually protein probably was not high because eggs almost have no protein. So when we're thinking protein and we go to, oh, I will have eggs are not a source of protein. And you will probably.
But when you have eggs, you add like all those like vegetables that I'm trying to like add up all the vegetables, because then it's like, okay, the carbs are too low and now I have to fill it up with something else.
Yeah. And
so that's why it's like building it. It's kind of, it's so much easier and faster. Just have your protein shake in the morning and everything looks great.
And in the evening, right? Not that I suggest, but like this is my 4th meal. So I need to fill 200 grams plus of protein. So that's challenging. Now for eggs, do remember that eggs are a very significant source of fat. And this is where you will jump, right? Like you have 2 eggs, you're around 10 grams. And if someone has 50, 60 grams of fat a day, it's a big thing in a small package. So this is something to pay attention to. I'm not saying not to eat eggs, by the way. Eggs are great.
Right.
Just
no, that's why like I was just trying to switch around and, you know, make some changes. And the other struggle is like when you're going out to the restaurant, like what do you do? Like that's the other big problem because, you know, whatever they're serving, even though you go with like, okay, I'll just have a salmon and like I had salmon and broccoli. But when you put it, like we went to Applebee's, when you put it in, it's like, what? You know, you can't tell them like,
Okay.
you know, like make me special
Applebee's is a
salmon
good
and
one.
things like that. And now, like, you know, my cousin is coming from Israel tonight, and I know we're gonna go out. Like, and what do you do?
Okay, so this is a very good topic, and I do want to address it because weekend is upon us, and some people will decide that they want to go out and things like that. Before that, let me see if Rebecca, would you like to speak?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? Hello to all.
Doing great.
Sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather. So it has been an okay week. I hope I was doing good. I'm just not sure because I gave you my numbers a little bit later on.
Okay.
And I was, I mean, I know the drill. It just putting myself in order, like behaving. I mean, I start my breakfast late, which is, I think, affecting my day because I will not eat before 12 or 1 o'clock. But I'm not sure if I had enough protein because I did feel hungry at times. But beside that, I think I was okay. I tried to be okay.
Okay. I actually didn't get your numbers.
I sent it in the email.
Okay, so I will need to check that because I didn't get that. And you're eating basically on a hunch because you don't have any macros defined.
Right. So I'm eating like I'll say based on calories. Basically, that's what I'm doing.
Yes, and you're using your past experience.
Yes.
Or Israeli bootcamp. So okay.
Yeah.
So I see your calories. You're doing probably well. We will need to look at this and make sure that you eat enough and not 18 grams of protein a day. So
too much. I don't know. I don't remember the last time I did it, how much was. But you know, I've been a good friend of tuna and eggs and cucumbers this week. So
all right.
They are my besties.
Okay, so I'm happy that you actually thought that you have your macros and you're eating correctly. So this is good. This is what I call dedication.
It just behaving. I mean, as I told you before, I'm an emotional eater. Anything that breaks me, then, I mean, I won't eat junk food, but I'll eat extra food. So that's the problem.
It's actually always a problem, and with like the secret is that you can be totally fine with junk food.
Oh no, I mean,
no, not you specifically, right? I want to say to everyone that we are not getting problems because we eat junk food. We overeat. So when you overeat of anything, you will have problems because just caloric surplus alone creates many problems. And people who eat junk but they don't overeat, which is almost inexistent, they are not really unhealthy. But the problem is junk food is really hard not to overeat. Extremely hard. It's yummy. It's made for the purpose of you eating more of it, not anything else.
Give me good steak and I'm fine with that.
Hey, this is a good habit. And here we go. Matt just posted a link to really good kosher steaks.
Yeah, Friday night is a challenge. So I filled my plate with all the salads and the vegetables and just took a big piece of roast and I said, okay, that's it. And I'm okay. But I kept it light during the day. So because I know Friday night dinner, so I had to keep it light so it will balance somehow.
This is perfect. So, and like, just look at the chat. David posted something for what is it? Exotic meats. So you can buy there. Probably they sell online maybe, or you can get there. And Matt is in Florida, but I think you can buy online the things. So sharing is great. I appreciate this. It can help everyone. Now, Do you have any other questions, Rebecca? Anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I'm good. I mean, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Keep in mind, I need to reach out to you and send the measurements, or you can just resend me that email right now.
Okay.
Okay. I apologize if I didn't notice it
No
at some point.
worries. I know that I didn't send it over the weekend. You did mention that you're doing the numbers over the weekend. Weekend was hectic, so.
That happens. Okay. So now that everyone has spoken, and I'm very happy and thankful for that, I want to address that thing that was mentioned. And by the way, I think Barb joined and I didn't let her speak. Barb, you here?
Julian, I'm not sure if you see me, Elaine.
Oh, now I do. Hey, so now we want to speak to Elaine then. How you doing?
Hi, how are you? Okay, so I just wanted to say, I mean, everything is going well. It's definitely a learning curve for me. In fact, right now, as I was going through my chronometer while we're doing this, yesterday I had a very good day and it didn't log, and I can't even remember now basically what I had. I guess I'll do it afterwards, but it's unbelievable. It's definitely a chat. The chronometer has definitely, been a learning curve, and the program in general, because I'm very versed over the years. I am organized in when I do this type of thing, or in general, having food in the house. I mean, I know what it takes, but this in particularly it's different than anything I've ever known, because it's sort of, you're describing that, yes, you may have a certain amount of protein on your plate, but that's not exactly what you're having. And like the first few days, I'm like, what? And then I think I had wrote to you, I went to lunch with somebody and I was like, raving about this. And they said, oh my God, you're eating too much. I go, what do you mean I'm eating too much? That's what I'm having. It's the right thing. That's when I came home and typed you. And I was just so confused, about the grams and just, it's a learning, it's a curve, and it's a learning process for me. And I guess I'm a little bit concerned of how I'll translate it later on, or when I do go out, but I'm trying to leave that on the back burner. I am the person that had the cookies, that broke down and had the cookies. So I will say that there are days where I actually feel like, I think it was actually yesterday or the day before, where I feel so full from all this protein and the vegetables. Sometimes the vegetables just, oh my God, it's too much. But as the time approaches, like now, this is the time, because I don't go to bed that early, even if after I've eaten, it's just like a haunting in my head about having to have sweets. And even with all the protein, like I think today I did fairly well on protein, and it's still there. So that is a difficult area for me. Not having sweets was a big problem for me. It wasn't. I came here more to gain my protein, gain fiber. It's not so much that I thought I guess I wasn't healthy, but it was more that I just wasn't having most of my food groups. And then I have this sweet tooth, but it seems as though even when I really eat all the food groups, and maybe it's too soon to tell, but I still have that sugar addiction.
Of course. Okay. Thank you for sharing. And there are like a couple of important things here. You're just starting. It's something that will take time and learning curve. So do not get discouraged when you don't do that well. Like it's only who doesn't do anything, they don't fail too. Right? They just failed completely once and they never stopped. In terms of nutritional value, like not missing things, it will take time for us to figure out like if you have enough of what and not. And for that, your nutrition needs to be consistent. And again, like I personally intend to do more of those and like every month. And when we have you guys eating correctly and eating healthier, then we can start looking into, okay, let's break down everyone's nutritional profile and say, hey, you're missing this vitamin, you're missing this mineral, you have this and this and this. Pair it with your blood work and start saying, okay, let's make sure that you're specifically doing this thing, right? Because we start in in a general fashion, and this was a weight loss thing. But then if someone like decides to continue and go forward, we can do a lot of things together, a lot of things. And unfortunately, it's impossible to do everything at once, right? And like when I started I was 90 pounds more, and I wasn't even planning to lose weight, right? I had 517 triglycerides, and this is what I wanted to fix. This was my goal. My PCP said, you're going to die in 5 years, and this is what, or fix it. This was my goal. And then I noticed I'm losing weight. So it wasn't even in my head that I'm even overweight or anything like this. That was like side effect. So I started with one thing and then another, and 7 years down the road, I keep on finding things that I want to change, and I'm doing that. So I'm constantly learning. And that will be the case for you as well. If you desire, right? You will always find something to improve, and that will be great. As for desire for sweet, some people do think or expect, especially when we go low carb diets, ketogenic diets, that there's this magic promise of, I will get to the point that I don't want sweets, because maybe they read that like you will stop wanting sweets or anything like something like this. It's not going to happen. We are wired to want sweet. What we need to learn is to control that, right? Because we want many things. I want to buy something. I want to, do something. I want to, whatever, buy clothes and many things that we might want, and we're not doing them because we control ourselves. We understand the implications of what's going to happen. With food, not so much, because I ate a cookie, what's going to happen, right? Worst case, I will gain weight, which is obviously not the case. But the thing is, it's not a punishable offense in any way. So you're not going to, if you slacken at work, you might get fired. If you spend all your money, you might find yourself homeless. In this case, people don't see that whatever's happened as a punishment. So there's no that wall saying, maybe you shouldn't do this unless you really understand what's going on, which might be way worse than everything that I mentioned before, right? Because in the end, this is your life. And but wanting sweet is normal, right? Because if we don't taste sweet, we don't know it's a source of energy. So we are wired. When we taste sweet, we want to have more of that, because evolutionary, it wasn't available. So when a person in the season had something sweet, they ate more and more and more, get fatter, more insulin resistant for a winter, so they can survive the winter. Now we're just making surviving the winter all year round for us with that thing. So if it's sweet, it's great. We just don't do it. But in case of the starvation, go ahead, eat those cookies, and that will, keep you through the winter. So what we need to work is self-control and understanding what's going on and replacing those habits. And many times, right, you just want it because you're used to do it. You don't, it's not like you're hungry. It's not like you're lacking energy. It's not like someone is you're forcing you, you just used, maybe you used to eat a cookie at 10 p.m. And then at 10 p.m., boom, I want a cookie. Or if you see a cookie, then you want a cookie, and it will take time to stop, but you will never want, if I taste sweet, I will want more of it. It's normal, unless it's very sweet or it's disgusting, right? And you can try to replace those things already. And what I was doing, if I want anything sweet, here we go. I have this, element. It has salt. It is sweet. If you drink it, you don't want anything sweet, like it just shuts it down. Something more extreme, just take quarter teaspoon of salt. You will forget about any desire to have a cookie. It will shut it down. And many times wanting sweet comes from lack of sodium. And you will find it out. So, and we can go into those explanations further down the road, but that's the truth. Lack of electrolytes makes you crave sweet. That's one of the things. And the mechanism says because sugar causes you to retain water. If you retain water, you will not lose electrolytes. So when you are losing your electrolytes or like low on them, it will tell you have sugar because whatever left in you will not leave you. It will get stuck in you. It's a very interesting thing. Have some sodium and you will stop. Like it will, the desire will go away. And now to close this, and by the way, is it any like helpful at all, Elaine?
Yes, it's very helpful. And I think that we'll have to somewhere down the line further discuss the sodium, because that is a very big thing that I don't understand. And especially coming, as I had said to you, because I have vertigo and my understanding and all the time, I'm not saying that I don't have sodium. Like I do. I had turkey burger that has 200 mil. I mean, I'm having sodium, but I do not, besides not loving it that much, but I really have grown over the years to not use sodium. So this is something that I've never heard of. So I would be interested
step by step
to know more about it.
Step by step. And in the meantime, you want something sweet, just drink water. But I do suggest to have some sodium or the supplement because it will make you stop.
What is that supplement again?
It's called Element.
Element.
Okay, this is it. It has 1 gram of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium and magnesium. It's, if you can see, like this is LMNT. And I can send you a link for this.
Yes, please.
This is amazing. Okay, I will post a link on, this is best electrolyte supplement that exists because of ratios. I'm not going to, we can have a separate session on explaining that. Now, as far as going out, all right, the weekend is upon us. Some people will go out, some people are already concerned. And of course I can say, well, you're in the program, don't go out, right? Which I'm not going to say. I'm just posting a link to electrolytes. You have a list of foods, more or less. During this week, you more or less realize what are the foods that you should prefer and what are the foods you should avoid, right? At least on the basic level. And most of you doing really good, right? So for example, apple should not be there. The rest is great. And when you go out, you want to make yourself a framework of how you're eating. And I can give you an ideal one and you can take whatever you want from it. All right. So when you are out, prefer to order large salad as a first part of your meal and maybe some kind of protein appetizer. And this is what I'm doing, right? If I'm going to a restaurant, I'm going to order something like, I don't know, tartare or sashimi or something like this, whatever they have, right? And then I will have large salad. And there's always a salad in normal places, unless it's like even in pizzeria, they have Caesar. And I will see what's in the salad. And obviously if it's all, like fruits and things like that, I will not have it. But there's always like some kind of kale salad, garden salad, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes they have a salad that has something in it. I'm just saying, oh, please, take apples away. Give me that salad without the apples. All the rest is fine. And give me the dressing on the side. Because I used to deal saying like, what's in the dressing, da, 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 da. But many times they don't know. And they would say, oh, like there's no sugar, and they will bring you something and like, it's sweet. I shouldn't have it. So now I just bring it on the side and then I can, smell it or taste it and say, not for me, or maybe, oh, it's just, I don't know, balsamic. Here we go. Or you can say, I don't want a dressing, bring me olive oil instead, and have a little bit of olive oil, but still have it on the side so they don't bring you this much and you pour it all in and you have 500 calories. You just pour a little and mix it and you have enough for yourself. You don't need to have all of it because you have all of it. Matt?
So I find it challenging when to go out to a restaurant. Like, how do you weigh everything? How do you measure everything? I think that's the hardest part, because you're not going to go into a restaurant. You're not going to bring a big scale. You're not going to put it on the table, and look like a crazy person and putting everything in one at a time. So how do you go out and weigh everything and measure everything?
Okay, great. So I was getting there, and this is why I'm saying, what you should not be eating. And this is this like framework that I'm talking about. If you order protein appetizer, okay? So let's say you have tuna tartare. You can have octopus, like everywhere, like whoever eats that, right? There's a lot of options. You can ceviche, right? There's always that option, almost always. Oysters, whatever, have something like this. And again, like different people eat different things, and maybe there's not, but there's always salad that you can order, have a dressing on the side, make sure that there's nothing in that salad, and it's just a bunch of leaves. So you get in your fiber, you get in your vegetables, and you fill in yourself a lot.
Right, but then again, like, let's say you order tuna tartare, right? It comes on a plate. How do you know how much to put in the app?
I'll get there.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And then for main dish, order, again, protein. And by the way, talking about salad, many restaurants offer you option, add protein to your salad. So it can be shrimp, it can be chicken, it can be salmon, turkey, whatever. Most restaurants have that, even luxury ones. Like Florida, Miami, they have code. It's like amazing steakhouse, Korean, Michelin star. I tell them I want this, they do it, right? We have the same in New York. So just by having salad, you're already having bunch of fiber, bunch of vitamins. You can have protein there, and you already will be full. So normal person would be done after that. Now, if you are like me, you can order a main dish, which you probably want, and then there's always meat or fish. So prefer lean meat. Like you can, again, it can be lean steak, it can be chicken, can be, again, whatever, duck, or any kind of fish. And if they have with it, I know, mashed potatoes or rice, substitute that with, again, vegetables. And there's always, Brussels sprouts and things like that. Now, what happens if you start with protein or salad with protein, and then you have more protein? There's no way for you to overeat. You probably will be dying from being full halfway, if not before. You're getting your protein, you're getting your fiber, you're not getting any crap on the way. You can't overeat. You don't need to weigh anything. So what if you ate a little more fish or a little more steak, and you definitely will not overeat the vegetables? Like, there's no way you will get enough, because most of you have huge allotment of net carb. You cannot eat that much. It's impossible. Imagine a salad, Elena, you can see it, with 50 net carbs from greenery. You probably will explode before you finish it. There's no one got sick or overweight by eating this way. If you skip the bread, if you skip, different like yummy things, if you skip the dessert, if you skip the potatoes and rice and things like that, you will be full you will not be able to eat, and you will likely undereat because of that. I promise you that. So no, you don't need a scale unless you prefer to have a scale if you eat in that framework, right? Don't be scared of overeating because you won't be. And you can prepare in advance, have smaller, I don't know, breakfast, lunch, or something like this. Just eat the correct things. Choose the right foods. Don't say I'm in a restaurant, so I can't not have a beer. I cannot have bread because they literally put it on my table. They put bread everywhere. We just don't eat it. And then they just take it away. So what? It's fine. Or you can say, skip the bread. Don't bring the bread. Or they bring it, just say, you can take it back. As for the other thing, like Matt mentioned, you cannot put the scale out and think, yes, you can. It's up to you. And I was doing it for 3 years. And I was an executive in a software company. I was traveling all United States and in Europe. And I was going to the restaurant with clients and putting scale on the table. I'm not saying anyone should do it, right? But I did find pleasure in saying like, hey, I'm better than you guys because you're all a bunch of, unhealthy people who complain all the time about like, we finished the dinner and, oh, my doctor said this and I have this and I had a heart attack. And I'm like, I'm good, right? I'm me and my scale. And when I left that company, I took a bunch of those ex-clients as my clients to what I'm doing now, because they saw over several years what's happening to me. And they got curious. And then when I was no longer working there, they all reached out and said, I want to have what you have. So it's up to you how you approach it. But there are some people who don't care about anything other people think about them, which is the right thing, right? Not waiters, not the company or other people. So you can bring the scale if it makes you comfortable, if it makes your life easy. I have pocket scale still in every bag I have in the closet. So that is definitely an approach for someone who wants to know, I want to know what's in that thing, right? I would never know what's in the octopus unless I would bring the scale to the restaurant once, and then prompted me eventually to start buying octopus. Otherwise I wouldn't, right? So like, it's not a negative thing unless you make it a negative thing. So again, not saying you should be doing this. I'm saying that that's an option that is really not a bad one. Make sense? So do not be afraid to go out. Just make sure that what you're eating is what you normally eat. And if it's a protein source, by Michael, and I can share pocket scale, Elaine, and Dima can share pocket scale because he has one. So it's very convenient. And I'm just saying, don't try to limit yourself. Like there's always an option for you. And if you're going out, you'll be fine as long as you choose the right thing to eat. And if you don't, like you're going out once a week, so you weigh things at home for 6 days and one meal a week you didn't weigh, nothing will happen if you chose to eat right things. Okay, is it helpful?
Yeah, it is. Thank you. Actually, I like the idea of having a salad before the meal because you kind of fill it up, which I didn't think about it. Because I ordered salmon and I said, no much potato, just give me broccoli. But then when I put it in the app, it seems like, oh my God, there were so many calories. But I guess that's the way they cook it because the salmon was really kind of oily. So it's just certain things you couldn't do it. But if I would order a salad, I wouldn't need to eat the other stuff, even though
Correct. And like when you have salad, you absorb things. And then, like many times you will not want main dish for good and for bad.
Right.
Worst case, you save money. Yes, Elaine.
Just that if you're ordering that salad, which I often very much do with one of those proteins on it, I just want to clarify. So are you saying that's not really enough protein with a salad? Then you really need like
for you, probably it will be.
Probably it would be enough.
And for David, probably it won't.
Oh, okay.
Right. So if we take in someone who needs 90 grams of protein a day and someone who needs 160 grams of protein a day, it's different thing, right?
Okay. So for me, it would be okay.
Yeah. So if we go out and my wife orders, she doesn't order a salad and a main dish because she can't eat that much. I need a lot of protein, so I will order that protein appetizer and the salad with protein and protein. And sometimes I order 2 main dishes and waiters will be like, what are you doing? Right? Because I want my 220 grams of protein, right?
Yeah, most restaurants will do a la carte too. That's what I did when I went out to eat during the week.
Yeah.
You know, I just ordered a big piece of swordfish and vegetables on the side and told them, leave off all the sauces. I don't want any of it.
Yeah, it's very easy and it's not scary and no one is like judging you or whatever. They like their job is to give you service, whatever you're paying. And I had episode like if anyone knows, like because some people are around like in Marlboro, there's like a place called Over Easy Kitchen, and we go there a lot for brunch. And I used to just work from there a lot. And one day I was sitting and I like always like it's standard like many years I'm eating the same thing, huge salad and eggs with protein. So like it looks big. And I was working and someone said like, oh, like you should eat that much. It's not healthy for you. Right. And that was like very obese lady with this stack of pancakes. Right. So, and like, I was really at loss because, you know, like that's you comparing size of food. And this is probably what Elaine, like you experience, like it's a lot too much to what's in your food, but it doesn't matter. Like, if you drink all of this, there will be 0 calories in it, right? But that's a big volume. So size of food doesn't matter. The volume of the food doesn't matter. What matters is what's in the food. So if you eat a lot of food, it doesn't affect your fat weight in any way. It will come and go. Okay. And the more voluminous the food is, the more full you will be, the less hungry you will be.
I have a question, Julian, real quick. I eat salad a lot. Usually for lunch, I'll have a salad, cut up a small piece of chicken breast or something, throw that on the salad. I'm looking at the chronometer. Like I had a big salad today, and it's showing 1 gram of net carbs. I had a big bowl of spinach and spring mix, organic spinach and spring mix with cucumbers. I cut up some yellow pepper on it. Now this is just showing me the grams, the net carbs from just the spinach and spring mix alone, because I added everything separately, because I don't think there's a way to put just salad and everything in it. So just that alone, you figure 2 cups of spinach and spring mix, that's only 1 gram of net carbs.
Well, if it's just actually spinach and spring mix, yeah, it's what, like, I don't know, 20 grams, like 30 grams, like it's nothing. Those things have no carb. They like, I mean, they have no sugar. They are very much nothing.
That's the issue. And I used to think I was having like spinach. Okay. And then I started to look now this morning, I needed to have like this much spinach for it to really move the chronometer. I'm like, what?
Yes.
And I used to have like this. I'm like, wow, I'm doing really good. I'm having a lot of vegetables. I'm having a lot of vegetables. Meanwhile, I'm having like nothing.
That's
and this
how
is
I
why,
feel.
like this is exactly why people like there's saying that we are malnutrition, like we're undernutrition by overnutrition, because we eat small things with a ton of calories, but when we like need to eat like a lot of food that is voluminous, that has no calories, but if you look at how much nutrients is there, like it's a lot. Like that, what is like that spring mix probably like it gave you third of your vitamin C for a day and half of vitamin A for a day, like of minimal, like I'm just looking at this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's 10 grams of your fiber.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing. When I make my breakfast, while making, I eat head of lettuce every day. A head. This is like, I'm starting with it. It's before I sit down to eat. I'm just, snacking on it. Because if I eat it all together and I'm paying attention to what I'm eating, there's no way I eat enough. When I'm just running around like I'm leave, it's gone and I didn't pay attention that I ate this much. So you really cannot overeat vegetables if you choose to eat that.
Yeah, but I'm always coming up short on my carbs.
Eat more.
Because of that.
Eat more or mash them or like you can or mix them and things like that. And again, we just starting. You will learn with time, right? And it's better to start under eating than overeat your calories, and then eventually you will adjust and you will start eating and you will find what's good for you. And it's a process. So no one will get great in a week or maybe a month. It takes time.
Yeah, I'm not the opposite. My carbs are getting blown to the roof.
What are you eating?
I eat a lot of dense vegetables like Brussels sprouts or
yes, I eat Brussels sprouts.
Sauerkraut's another. People would say sauerkraut has got a ton of fiber.
Yes,
very low carbs, but a ton of protein as well. So I've been eating a lot of that, but I'm eating dense. I'm moving away from salads because, like you said, it's all mostly air to me, right? I'd rather eat a dense food. And
that's probably why I'm hungry, because I'm eating this salad and there's nothing to it. I'm thinking I'm getting a ton of carbs.
Brussels sprouts are amazing.
Yeah,
these are my
love
cookies.
Brussels sprouts, yeah.
I eat them instead of cookies.
Mix it with bacon and maple syrup. They're outstanding.
No.
I'm just teasing.
Okay, guys, is anyone having any more questions?
Just what flavor of the electrolyte water do you drink? The salt?
Do you like spicy?
You take the spicy one? Okay, no.
So no, I have spicy ones, and they are mango chili, and there's also like lime, I think.
Okay, I saw lime and I saw some chocolate ones, but of course there you go.
Do not try, Matt, I see you, so I will not forget. Do not have chocolate unless you're like very adventurous.
Okay.
It also mixes only with hot water, so like. If you imagine hot chocolate, but slightly salty, it works for you, you can try it. I cannot stand chocolate salt, mint. I drink something like when it's really cold, and I didn't try the new one, the chocolate caramel. What I like is more of like this regular lime, the green one that they have. What else? It's called citrus salt. Watermelon is nice. And again, like I think it's very personal in terms of taste, because some people love chocolate and like they say like, I cannot drink what you're drinking. So you can try probably variety pack and see what you like as well. Okay. And if you buying, like if you know you like it, if you buy the bundle, there's 4 boxes and 1 is free. So you're paying for 3, which is, you cannot like get it anywhere else except on their website. Okay, Matt, you are on.
Are we allowed to have chia seeds?
You can, if you like it.
Okay.
Right, like it depends on the reason, right?
Because I was thinking about making like a chia seed pudding putting the chocolate protein powder in it to make it like, you know, kind of like a chocolate pudding-ish.
Listen, you can just make sure you're paying attention to the macros of that.
Okay.
And that can get very fatty if you go overboard. And you don't want to go overboard with that. And some people want to have them because they have omega-3.
Oh.
And that's pointless because that type of omega-3 we cannot convert, so we cannot use it. So it's basically just fat.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, not absorbable. We cannot digest it.
What about flax then?
Same.
So
if the reason to have that is omega-3, you can forget about this. So
okay, but there are other reasons of having.
That's a different thing,
flax.
right?
Okay.
But if
omegas, okay,
it's not going to contribute to your omega-3s at all. All right.
Julie.
Yes.
It's Colleen.
Hey, Colleen.
I keep going over in my fats, and I don't know if it's because I'm new to measuring everything, or I'm just eating the wrong. I'm eating wrong.
I think it might be both, and like I didn't look. I'm going to look, but if you're going over your fat, it means you're not measuring right, or you are not planning, right? Because if you plan ahead and you see too much fat, you need to take it off before you eat it.
Oh, I see. So plan ahead meaning, because I cook my stuff ahead, but plan ahead meaning what it is, chronometer.
Yes. So like, first of all, like I'm looking and like unless you're not tracking,
yeah,
you're good.
Oh,
so I don't see you going over your fat.
Oh, I thought I'm going like way over my fat.
Maybe one time a week ago.
Yeah.
And yesterday you went 5 grams over, which is like, but no. But the idea is that you plan your day and you use the chronometer as a checklist, and not that you eat and then you log it.
Oh, that's what I was doing. Oh, all right.
If that is what you're doing, you will be maybe over something, and you will always be low on something. Because it's impossible to do it without planning.
Okay.
Unless you are like Dimitri, who did it thousands of times, and he doesn't need to even put, because he knows this, and he can in the head connect the things.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Okay, so that's planning is everything. And once you planned it several times, then you're good. Oh, I see you went over your carb on the first day, but that was the first day. It's like, you're good. Don't beat yourself. Just start planning, because this way you're under eating.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. All right. We are going to wrap it up. Thank you, John. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you for doing great things for yourselves. Any help you need, you know where to find me in the group. Dr. Adria, the same. And if any of you didn't track, didn't send the measurements, please do. For last week, and we're going to see you in the group and next week. Have a great one.
You too.
Thank you so much.